Coming up on Valley View News, an LAPD officer is dead after a crash in a busy Northridge intersection. Residents say it's not the first time something like this happened on the dangerous stretch of road. Plus, the Gaza death toll reaches more than 10,000, the latest on the Israel-Hamas war. And a new foundation was created in honor of late actor Matthew Perry, how a nonprofit will help those suffering from addiction.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Tashi Rios.
And I'm Perez.
We begin with the death of an off-duty LAPD officer who died following a two-car crash in Northridge. The deadly collision happened on West Roscoe Boulevard and Lindley Avenue. Officer Darrell Cunningham was driving with an off-duty San Bernardino County deputy and one more unknown passenger when another car ran a red light driving over 100 miles an hour. 20-year-old Brian David Alveri was believed to be under the influence of alcohol when he hit the two deputies. Officer Cunningham worked for the department for almost 5 years and is survived by his fiancée and two sons. Chief Moore says the passengers were all lifelong friends.
The deadly crash has generated concern among longtime residents who say the stretch of road is known to be dangerous for drivers. Valley View News' Ali Nahara reports they're demanding change from the city before more lives are lost.
Right here on Roscoe and Lindley is the intersection that took the lives of two individuals last night, and it's known as a street that's claimed the lives of many. A deadly two-car crash in Northridge took the lives of two individuals, including an off-duty LAPD officer from San Bernardino. The crash also involved a parked car of a Northridge resident. Jimmy Castro lives in the apartment where the crash took place. He worries that this pattern may affect him as well.
Honestly, really sad and worries me because it just shows that one day it could be me, it could be one of my family members that live by.
Earlier this year, a Cal State Northridge student died as a result of this intersection. Vigils, much like the one set up here, were put up to pay tribute to the most recent victims. Still, residents who live adjacent to the crash site are concerned about the safety of drivers and think a solution is needed to prevent another accident of this nature.
I think surveillance of any kind is, if they get away with it, if they don't, it's still better if we take care of it in some way, like where we can hold them accountable.
Many nearby residents believe implementing stricter regulations, or as Castro says, a traffic cop, can help put a stop to these deaths.
This street has had issues with accidents for all the 10 years we've been living here. There's always a death every, a few months.
As of now, it's been revealed that the suspect was going 100 miles per hour, which resulted in the deaths of 2 and 3 others injured. Police are still investigating further details. From Northridge, I'm Ali Nahara, Valley View News.
Thank you, Ali. A man suspected of sexual assault is now facing charges in Long Beach. It comes after District Attorney George Gascon's office initially declined to file a felony charge, saying there was not enough evidence. The man reportedly unzipped his pants, exposing himself as he walks behind her before lifting up her skirt and rubbing against her. The city provided additional evidence, which Gascon led to his office filing a felony charge. The DA is requesting bail of $150,000.
In other news, a San Jose police officer is without a job today. He had been involved in an officer-related shooting in downtown San Jose in March of 2022. San Jose Mayor Matt Mohan says the text messages were sent the day after the shooting and in June and July of this year. He says Mark McNamara used the N-word multiple times and said, quote, "I hate black people."
That we build trust and rebuild the trust that, frankly, this individual has cost our city is by being completely transparent and taking the swiftest possible action we can.
The department says the incident represents the actions of the individual, not those who serve with honor and respect.
Meanwhile, officers in Georgia have another escaped inmate behind bars. Last month, Mark Carey Anderson and 4 others escaped Bibb County Detention Center in Macon, Georgia. Anderson was the second inmate caught in the past 2 weeks. Authorities also arrested Tymisha Timley for hindering Anderson's capture. The FBI is assisting local law enforcement to find the 2 other inmates that remain on the run.
A judge has ruled that a $40 million lawsuit filed by a Newport News teacher in Virginia can move forward. Abigail Zwerner is suing the school board and administrators after she was shot by a 6-year-old back in January. She claims they ignored the warning signs of the child's history of violence. The incident happened at Rich Neck Elementary School when she was at her reading table in the classroom. She was then shot in the hand and chest. The board initially motioned to dismiss the case until Judge Matthew Hoffman decided to move forward with it. It is unknown when the trial will start.
An 11-year-old child is dead and 4 other children injured after a gunman opened fire at a crowd in Cincinnati. 3 boys ages 12, 13, and 15, and a 15-year-old girl were taken to the hospital. Officials said the suspect fired 22 times in a local neighborhood which is full of young children.
This is absolutely unacceptable in our city. Unacceptable that on a Friday night, 6 people were shot in one incident.
It's still unclear whether the attack was random or targeted.
President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill traveled to Maine in wake of a recent shooting a few weeks ago. Both stood for a moment of silence and placed a flower bouquet at the memorial outside the scene. The shooting took place October 25th. Police say a 40-year-old man killed 18 people and injured 13. The gunman was found dead with a self-inflicted gunshot wound hours after the killing. President Biden says he's ready to fight gun violence.
You know, as we mourn today in Maine, this tragedy opens a painful wounds.
His visit was meant to help the city and to try to help them heal.
The Santa Clarita bus strike has now reached its 4th week, and it looks like there is no end in sight. Valley View News' Warren Lopez says demonstrators will continue to rally for better working conditions, no matter how long it takes.
Chants echo outside the transit maintenance facility as Santa Clarita bus drivers enter its 4th week of protests. The strikes follow after 12 months of delayed negotiations with MV Transportation. So far, little to no progress has been made on the bargaining table.
We love our job, all of us love our job, and we just want this to be over with, go back to work, to take care of our passengers, to take care of our families.
MV is one of the largest public transport contractors as they move about 110 million passengers a year, and Santa Clarita takes up 3 million of them. The company broke its silence on November 2nd and explained they continue to seek a contract while offering wage increases. The drivers say otherwise and say the company is not bargaining in good faith.
Anytime you have to negotiate with a company for over a year and 2 months, it's not in good faith. And in these times, you cannot survive off a 3% raise, which is, if you do the math for 4 years, it's 45 cents.
The strikes led to many canceled routes and lines, while the city had to sign an emergency contract with transit systems to give temporary services. Despite no clear end in sight, the drivers will continue to strike on.
We all have families. We have families that are needing hospital, services and, things of that sort. So, our money's cut short, but it's for the purpose. So, we standing strong.
Santa Clarita City Council offered to work for both sides so bus services can return as soon as possible. Reporting from Santa Clarita for Valley View News, I'm Warren Lopez.
Thank you, Warren. Metrolink says it plans on temporarily shutting down its train services. Rain commuters will have to use an alternate form of transportation from December 26 to 29. The company says the closure will allow for maintenance, including essential cleaning, repairs, and network upgrades. The upgrades are coming just before the upcoming FIFA World Cup, the 2028 Olympics, and several other sports events. Other transportation agencies will still be operating during the time. Any passengers who have monthly or multi-day passes are encouraged to look into the refunds.
El Niño is expected to hit the U.S. with a chilly winter for the first time in years. Maps from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration show where more snow will pile up. The southern U.S. is expected to have wetter and cooler weather, while the north is estimated to be drier and warmer for the winter. The maps range from the amount of snowfall during the El Niño winters to the snowfall during the moderate to strong winters. Some of the states expected to see above average snowfall will be Washington, D.C. and Baltimore.
As we enter the holiday season, many families are gearing up to decorate their homes, but Valley View News' Lauren Hanna shows us why one local family is salvaging the remains of theirs.
A mother of 4 was Halloween shopping when the unthinkable happened. A fire erupted inside her Santa Clarita home. Her family friend rushed to the house on Oaklar Drive. It was engulfed in flames.
I came in and I told her, here, go over there, see what's happening. And then I said, we need to find your kids.
As they searched the other houses, 25 LA County firefighters battled the flames.
When they saw the smoke and fire, we immediately pulled 2 3/4 inch hand lines and went interior, began knocking the fire down, as well as doing a search for any victims or any animals that may be inside the property.
4 children and their grandma, who also lived in the house, were unharmed, but their many pets weren't as fortunate.
Well, unfortunately, we did find 2 dogs. I'm unsure of the exact location of where they were found, but unfortunately they were brought outside, given oxygen, dog CPR, but unfortunately they passed away on scene.
In the meantime, the local community is raising money on GoFundMe. Each dollar a reminder of those who care.
They all have places to sleep tonight, thanks to the community, and we're gonna see what we can do tomorrow. But for tonight, they're safe, they're alive, and that's what matters.
Firefighters were able to put out the flames, but for now, they're looking for clues into what caused it. Reporting in Santa Clarita, I'm Lauren Hanna, Valley View News.
Thank you, Lauren. The California State University faculty members have voted to authorize a strike in order to secure a new deal. The California Faculty Association had 95% members give the okay for a strike. The union represents all 23 Cal states. Workers are demanding for a 12% pay increase, manageable workloads, expand parental leave, and more counselors. They will present their request to the Chancellor in Long Beach on November 7th during the CSU Board of Trustees meeting. By law, employees must wait until the mediator tries to find a middle ground for the union and Cal States to continue before striking. This would be the first time the union would go on a system-wide strike.
More to come on Valley View News. Ticketmaster is reporting its highest quarter yet, and a museum was given an asteroid sample from NASA. Stay with us as we'll give you a look at a piece from space.
I tell my son, I love you every single day. Now, my dad has never said that to me. Not because he doesn't love me, but because culturally it wasn't comfortable for him. Now that he's a grandfather, he says, I love you to my son every time he sees him. My advice to all the fathers out there, forget the cultural restrictions. They grow up way too fast for you to waste even a single precious moment.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
How you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Thank you.
A place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
Welcome back. Let's travel to news overseas. Lyssandra Vera is in our Digital Media Center with the latest international updates. Lyssandra?
Thank you. We begin with the bombing in the refugee camp in the central Gaza Strip, which has left dozens dead and many more injured. The attack occurred late Saturday, killing 52 people, according to officials. They say the explosion was a result of an Israeli airstrike. A woman who lives in Gaza tells CNN it was one of the many blasts hitting the area.
When I found myself alive, I looked to see who was still alive. We turned on the torch, and my siblings were alive, but I did not find my father. I finally found him next to me. I moved him. I moved his hands. I moved his face. He did not respond.
The Israeli military has not immediately commented on whether it was targeting the area. The Israeli Defense Forces is also investigating the circumstances of the strike. Hundreds of pro-Palestinian demonstrators attempted to attack the Incirlik Air Base in southern Turkey on Sunday. It happened just hours before U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken was scheduled to arrive in Turkey for discussions with authorities. The Incirlik Air Base houses several U.S. troops and is used as a support base for operations in Iraq and Syria. Turkish police fired back with tear gas and water cannons. The health ministry, operated by Hamas, announced 9,770 Palestinians have died in Gaza so far. The protest was organized to coincide with Blinken's visit and to show solidarity with Gazans. In Southern California, a woman has disappeared in Guatemala. 29-year-old Nancy Ng, a resident of Monterey Park, was officially reported missing on October 19th after leaving for a trip on October 14th. She was seen attending a yoga retreat. Ng was staying on Lake Atilin, a popular tourist spot she had visited just a year before. Now her family is working with their private search and rescue team in Guatemala that has searched 95% of the area. The FBI is also working closely with the investigation. Now let's head to Germany. A 4-year-old girl is safe after her father kept her hostage in Hamburg airport. Police arrested the man 18 hours after he broke into airfield's gates last Saturday evening. The man is only identified as 35-year-old Turkish citizen. The ex-wife contacted authorities and told them he forcefully took their child in an ongoing custody battle. The kidnapping led to canceled flights, and the airport closed its doors to passengers. No one was left hurt during the standoff, and flights resumed as normal after the scene cleared out. That's the very latest from the Digital Media Center. I'm Lyssandra Vera. Back to you.
Lyssandra, thank you. Bank of America's app had notified customers they will face a temporary deposit delay due to a glitch in a payment processing system. The automated clearinghouse system, which allows banks to send digital payments with each other, experienced a processing error for many of its transactions. Many banks and its customers need the system for mortgage, utility, paychecks, among others. A spokesperson for the clearinghouse says the company is working with other affected banks to fix the issue. Bank of America is not the only one, as the glitch impacted JP Morgan, Truist Financial, and the U.S. Bank Corp.
Citibank has notified its customers that if they do not opt out of paper statements, they will lose access to their online bank accounts. The notice was issued to customers through the Citibank website. A representative says that although the policy requires them to enroll in paperless billing, they can switch back to paper statements later and still be able to log in. This switch comes as the banking industry has been pushing for customers to give up mailed statements, since they come at a cost for the industry in paper and postal fees. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau also says that people who want to continue to get physical statements should review their cardholder agreement or contact customer service.
Live Nation Entertainment, the parent company for Ticketmaster, reported its strongest quarter ever, bringing in $8.2 billion in their third quarter. Higher ticket prices and demand for shows boosted revenue by 32%, and the majority of it came from the concert business, which includes production and merchandise sales. The two biggest concerts that brought in big ticket sales during the period were Taylor Swift's Eras Tour and Beyoncé's Renaissance Tour, which generated billions for the concert industry. As the company is currently on pace for a record year, they're already looking ahead at 2024 with half of the expected show count being booked for the year.
Washington, D.C. got something out of this world. The Smithsonian's National Museum of Natural History received an asteroid sample from NASA, which the space agency calls a potentially dangerous object. The OSIRIS-REx spacecraft collected the rubble. The piece comes from Bennu asteroid that weighs about 3.5 to 8.8 ounces. It is the first time NASA caught a chunk of space rock, and many of its scientists analyzed the sample to find signs of life outside of Earth. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson says the study is meant to find where our planet stands with the rest of the galaxy.
And it's all a part of our quest to understand, to try to understand who we are, what we are, where we are in the vastness of this cosmos.
The Smithsonian is the first museum to have a display from Benue open to the public.
When we come back, actress Lily Collins had her wedding and engagement ring stolen, who authorities believe is the thief. Also, the NFL takes over in Germany, how the Chiefs outlasted against the Dolphins overseas. Stay with us.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Look! 911, where's your emergency?
Everyone's on their way. What happened? Your friend's not breathing. Please get my mom and dad. Oh my God!
Day of the Dead, or better known as Dia de los Muertos, is a tradition celebrated by Latinos around the world to remember the people that are no longer with them. On November 1st and 2nd, family members or loved ones get together to create altars and offerings for the ones who they have lost. These offerings can vary from flowers or photos to the dead's favorite food. The items that are chosen to present on the altars represent the loved ones who have died.
The celebration doesn't end there. Canoga Park held its 23rd annual Dia de los Muertos Family Festival. Valley View News' Daniel Herrera shows us what a day like this means to the Latino community.
We wouldn't be here without those that have come before us.
For that reason, we honor the dead on Dia de los Muertos. A festival on Main Street in Canoga Park was held for those who lost their loved ones. Altars, folklorico dancers, vendors, and much more brought the community a peace of mind.
It's really celebrating such a scary thing for a lot of people, and just seeing the popularity of it grow because of movies like Coco and just like other festivals growing around the city.
There are different ways of admiring and showing the characteristics of those who are no longer with us.
We use Dia de los Muertos to reconnect or to connect with our loved ones that have passed on, and to celebrate what they meant for us, what they liked. If they like to dance, you dance. If they like to eat, you eat.
Face paintings, traditional dancing, and small gifts like these are all great. But the thing that matters most are the people that come together to honor the dead.
I love this event. I love coming here, and I love setting up because it gets to show others who we get to remember and honor and celebrate every year.
A day like this reminds those who mourn their dearest that death is not a tragedy, but a celebration of life. In Canoga Park, I'm Daniel Herrera, Valley View News.
Daniel, thank you. A wanted thief is allegedly responsible for stealing actress Lily Collins' wedding and engagement rings. The suspect is a 34-year-old West Hollywood woman named Andrea Catalina Rosca, who is also known by her fake ID name, Nicole Mori. She is wanted for at least 2 other thefts where she looted jewelry and credit cards from spa and yoga lockers. Authorities identified the thief to TMZ while telling them Rosca robbed Collins' items while the actress was at a hotel spa in May. The Emily and Perez star put her wedding band, engagement ring, and many of their devices inside her locker. Rosca remains at large. Anyone who has any information is asked to call the LA Sheriff's Department.
People struggling with addiction now have a safe space to turn to. A new foundation known as the Matthew Perry Foundation was created to help those who are suffering with addiction overcome the battle. Actor Matthew Perry, who died a week ago, faced the use of drugs and alcohol for decades. In Perry's 2022 memoir, he wrote about his problems and how he wanted to use his fame to make a difference in people's lives. The Matthew Perry Foundation was launched by a nonprofit organization known as the National Philanthropic Trust and is already accepting donations. Perry's cause of death is still under investigation.
Halloween last week got a little spooky in the NBA. James Harden was acquired by the Los Angeles Clippers in a trade with the Philadelphia 76ers. The trade sent Harden and PJ Tucker to LA, moving a handful of role players and draft picks to Philly. Former league MVP James Harden will now team up with former teammate Russell Westbrook and All-Stars Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. The Clippers are now one of the favorites to win the West, and Harden heads back to Southern California.
The Los Angeles Rams were without star quarterback Matthew Stafford this past Sunday as they faced the Green Bay Packers. Former Broncos quarterback Brett Rypien was Stafford's replacement, but he was unable to throw a touchdown. Rypien threw for 130 yards and had an interception. The Jordan Love-led Packers ended up winning the game 20-3 and gave the Rams their 6th loss of the season. It was a rough one for the Rams in what head coach Sean McVay said was a humbling game.
I am so glad that I didn't have Matthew Stafford on my fantasy team this week.
It's been a rough one for Rams fans this season.
It's great to be a Packers fan in LA. The Kansas City Chiefs took on the Miami Dolphins this past Sunday. However, the game wasn't like any other. The two offensive threats played in Frankfurt, Germany, and it did not disappoint. German fans had the entire stadium singing in unison, and the Chiefs and Dolphins found themselves in a late-game brawl. The Chiefs took an early lead going up 21-0, but didn't back down and scored 2 touchdowns in the second half. Tua Tagovailoa later had the chance to win with 1 minute remaining to create a game-tying drive, but fumbled on 4th down, giving the Chiefs a must-headed win after their loss in Denver last week.
The Texas Rangers are finally champions.
It's happened! The Texas Rangers win the World Series!
After 63 years, the Rangers own Texas and now their first franchise World Series. The Rangers defeated the Arizona Diamondbacks in 5 games after a 5-0 win in Game 5. Corey Seager was named the World Series MVP, making him the second player ever to win 2 Finals MVPs on 2 separate teams. A parade was held last Friday to celebrate the new champs and had an estimated 400,000 to 700,000 attendees.
Looking for a reason to watch the NBA? Check out their new looks. The NBA has added some new jerseys and courts for all 30 teams. The addition of the new floors comes during the league's new in-season tournament that will give us a king of the court early in the season. The new bright color looks are the first time teams have ever gotten an alternate court. The tournament finals will be played at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas on December 9th.
I'm not a big fan of the new courts, to be honest. They're a little too bright for me.
I actually really like it. Might be hard for the players, but I think it looks cool.
We'll see how it works out for them.
That's all for us on Valley View News. I'm Tashi Rios.
And I'm Alex Perez. For stories any time of the day, see our YouTube channel at Valley View News and our Instagram page at Valley View News CSUN. Thanks for watching.